Hi, I'm John and welcome back to my Lair of Action Figures, where I'll be talking and reviewing action figures from different manufacturers. Today we're going to be having a look at some more G.I. Joe Classified Series figures. Today we're going to be looking at the Deluxe Snow Serpent from Hasbro Classified G.I. Joe Series. So as you can see, I have the box. I have two boxes because this is a bit of an army builder. As you can see, this is the front of the box, the back of the box where you have some details. We're not going to go into too much about it. Not a big fan of this kind of boxes. Of course, this is number 93 in the G.I. Joe Classified Series line. This figure was available on Hasbro Pulse and was also available through any other shop in North America. Now, you could still get this figure. It's become a bit harder to find, but normally if you would have purchased it immediately, this figure would have cost you $34.99 in the US, and it was up for sale at €42.99. This figure came out in 2023. Now let's dive into the history of this figure. Let's talk about its value. Let's talk about also, is it a cool figure? Now, before diving into the history, this is going to be a 2-in-1 review because I will be adding this guy in also, who is the Retroline version. And there's a reason why it is very interesting to have a look at the Retroline figure and compare it to the deluxe version of the figure. Now, due to the fact that we're coming up to Christmas and the winter time, this is wherefore I decided to go with more of a review of the figures of the winter period. So we'll be starting by the Snow Serpent, and we'll be doing the other two figures because Hasbro hasn't came out with many of them. Sadly, I did not manage to locate my Snow Serpent, the one I had mint in box, but I'm going to go with the 25th anniversary line figure. As you can see, it's mostly the same gear that it comes up. It comes with his AK-47, his ski rackets, snow rackets I mean. He has a rocket launcher that can be attached to his backpack. He has also, of course, his parachute. So, I mean, the figure was pretty well equipped, and it was one of my favorites when I was growing up. So it did come out in Europe. Of course, this is just a regular soldier, so you know what this means. This means this guy is an army builder. Now that we have talked about the history, now let's get into the nitty-gritty and let's see what we get in this box. Now, like the box is not the one I prefer with a blister, we're going to go with what's in the box. Of course, we have our Snow Serpent. We get a backpack, we get a rocket launcher, we get a snowboard, we get his snow rackets, we get two rifles, we get 4 rockets who go with the backpack over there, we get a small knife, we get 2 pistols, we get some goggles over here, and we get some, how can we say, wolf skin, I would say. Wolf fur, I mean, and wolf head. As you can see, this is a deluxe figure, so it does really come with a lot of stuff. This is why I've been saying that Hasbro's been giving a lot of love to G.I. Joe Cobras and not much to G.I. Joe itself, because when you look at the deluxe, I mean, this figure comes, I would even say this is a bit overkill regarding all the gear that he comes up with, but it does have a certain point of advantage if you're going to be army building this guy, because this gives you a lot of possibilities to do some different things. So here we have one of the guys that I've taken out of the box because, like I said, it's an army builder, so you can put on the gear. It looks pretty neat, as you can see. There's still the hole, so if you still want to put the backpack on, you can still put it on over here and slide it in, so it also holds. It's a nice little touch that they did for it. You can decide to gear him up a bit differently, put him with his goggles on, the way you used to see it with the G.I. Joe rifle, the Cobra rifle that they had in the cartoons, laser rifles, you have the pistol. Backpack is the one from Bazooka, so it's exactly the same way of hooking the bazooka to the backpack. As you can see, you can really do some pretty neat stuff. Now that I showed you some of the other ones, of course, we're going to be having a closer look at the figure. As you can see, there's some pretty neat details. He has a Cobra logo. He also has a Snow Serpent logo on the other arm. The figure itself is pretty neat as the way it comes, and as you can see, it is pretty interesting as a figure due to the fact that he has a lot of stuff going on for him. Now, if we have to look, the goggles themselves have nothing special. If you want the rifles over here, we're going to be taking a closer look at these guys over here. Also, these are weapons that have already been given. Of course, the magazines come out over them. The pistols are pretty simple ones. I mean, I don't understand why he needs 2 pistols. I would guess he's been playing Modern Warfare. Then we have a small knife also to go with it. We have the snowboard, who's pretty neat with a Cobra logo, and some more Snow Serpent, who's the same logo that you're finding on his sleeve on this figure. And of course, we have these boots, these snow wackets who are here. So these are more modern versions than the one that were given with the original figure, and those also we use with Snowdrop, but we'll be talking about that when we get into this figure. Now, if we take a look at the Retroline version, as you can see, they didn't really go with the same things. They did a more nicer job on the goggles. I haven't taken them out. I will be talking about it in the end of the review, and as you can see, the colors are a bit more bright, and you're going on to the more vibe of this kind of bluish vibe that you would have with the original figure over here. So that's why they went with it with more bluer goggles. Now the thing is, I find this a bit of a shame, but I will be talking about it at the end of the review. You do have his rackets, you have a stand to put him on, you have the 2 pistols, you have this is the backpack and rifle from Dusty that's been put with it, who's a bit of a weird choice. I don't understand why they did that. And to finish off with the bear skin, the wolf skin, and the wolf skin head with the paws to put it over. I mean, it does fit in pretty nicely and kind of gives this kind of vibe of him looking like a bit like some of those how do you call it, those soldiers from the Roman Empire who also had this skins on their heads like this. I'm going to put this over here. So now let's talk about the collectible aspect about it, and do I think that this figure is worth something. Now, for the people who have purchased him, they must have did a good deal with it due to the fact that this figure sold out pretty fast and was not really available anytime afterwards. So this is something that is to be interesting to take into consideration, and this is why I think the original Snow Serpent does have a lot of value due to the fact that he comes up with a lot of gear and he's sold out. So on secondary markets, he's going to be pretty expensive. Now, as you know, I'm a huge fan of the Retroline figures. So this one here is the proof that not everything in Retroline is better, even if I prefer the presentation with the blister card, the stand and this kind of stuff. And I think that there's a lot of missing gear and things that could have been different, but that would be on my final thoughts about this figure. So I would say yes for this one. This one here is still available because it's a new figure from 2004 for this one. Of course, this one is 2003, and as I said, this one kind of sold out. So this one has a more higher collectible value than this one. This doesn't mean that in the future this one will not go up due to the fact of the retro packaging, but if you want to if you have a few like this, you can maybe try to sell them and get some good money on those figures. Now, regarding the note of this figure, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. There's only one reason why I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10, because this figure is really great and fantastic. This figure here is going to be a 5 out of 10. I know that the note seems pretty low for this figure. The reason why I'm giving this figure such a low note is because I think that the equipment that's been given with this guy is pretty ridiculous. You did not need to give him the rifle that was with Dusty. You could have give them an AK-47. I mean, all those figures do have those AKs. So, I mean, it's not like you don't have it, and you could have put it up with this. So this is something that is a bit disappointing. I agree that there's maybe no mortar like the one with the original one, but still, I think there's a bit of a missed opportunity. And as you can see behind, you still have a bit of space where you could have put some extra stuff. Maybe that backpack was not the most adapted. You could have gone maybe for the Outback backpack, so that you could put the AK-47 on his backpack. There's a few things that you could have done a lot better of this figure. This is the reason why I'm giving this figure a 5 out of 10. Now, the reason I'm not giving this one a 10 out of 10, it's just because of a little nitpicky thing. This knife, there's no holster for the knife or no place to put it, or you could try to slide it somewhere, and that's the only part that I find who's really a bit a big miss with this figure, and this is why I'm giving this one a 9 out of 5. So that's going to be it for the review of the Snow Serpent. If you like the video, please leave a like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. That helps a lot to boost the channel and make me go further with the reviews of the figures and developing. I will be making a video about that. So stay tuned. You can go and check out the pictures. I have some cool pictures. You can see them up in the video here. I'm zapping a few pictures. If you want to see them all, you can go to my Instagram page or my Facebook page. The links are in the description. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!